This is the Sixth Man Show, an Orlando Magic podcast, with your hosts, Luke Sylvia and Jonathan Osborne, covering all things Magic basketball. By fans, for fans. Go Magic. What's going on, Orlando Magic fans? You guys are back with the Sixth Man Show. Today is February 23rd, 2023. Luke, the Orlando Magic play basketball today for like the first time in what feels like forever.
Yeah, you and I kind of just had the realization right before hitting record here. Oh yeah, this episode's going to go out, and then we've got a game finally that night. I had that realization as I was rocking Cole, my son, not Cole Anthony, up in his bedroom, and I was like, "Oh wow, it's Wednesday, and then tomorrow we're back at it." So it's a relief. It's a relief, and we got a good episode planned. Little primer to get back into the mood and the swing of things with Magic basketball.
Yeah, it feels like it's been forever since the Magic have played, and I saw somebody talking about this. I don't know if it was in our Patreon, in the Discord, or if it was on Twitter, but people talking about like, oh, it's kind of nice to get like a little bit of a break from the stress. And I do agree with that to a certain extent, but I know tomorrow night I'm going to sit down at about 7, or what time does the game start tomorrow? We're at home, so it's going to be at 7. So about 7:10, because the games never start at 7. About 7:10, I'll be like, Magic basketball is back. I missed this, so it's going to be really great.
And favored by 6.5, by the way.
You got to win these games. I know we're going to talk about that a little bit later on, but you there's no excuse to lose either of these games that are coming up this week. But later on in the episode, we had the man, the myth, the legend, Scooter Magruder join the show to talk about his experience in Salt Lake City during All-Star Weekend, and just to talk about, hey, should the Magic push for the play-in? Should the Magic be tanking? Should they be trying to get better lottery odds as we go down the last 23 games of the season? So stay tuned for that. But before we get to that, let's talk about our watch party, Luke, that is coming up next Friday, March 3rd. We are going to be at Burton's, 801 East Washington Street in Orlando to watch the Magic take on the Charlotte Hornets. There's going to be giveaways. There's going to be $4 Michelob Ultra bottle specials. And these watch parties, these six-man show Orlando Magic Michelob Ultra watch parties, as you all know, these are legendary watch parties. We are 4-1, the Magic are, at six-man show Orlando Magic Michelob Ultra watch parties. So you don't want to miss it. You want to come out, again, March 3rd, 6:30, Burton's, 801 East Washington Street. Luke and I, we talked about this on the last episode. Our wives are now working together, which is amazing. But we're ditching their little work event to be at this. So
yeah, don't tell them that you called it little, but yeah, we're ditching the work event.
They don't listen. They don't listen.
Jonathan, I know some people might be disappointed because up to this point, you and I have not done one of our famous menu watch party reviews.
This is true. True.
Do we want to take a few minutes here? For those of you that are looking for Magic basketball content, you can roll your eyes for a few minutes. Jonathan and I are going to talk about this menu because we haven't. You and I haven't even talked about it personally together, which is pretty uncommon, honestly, when it comes to food menus. So, what are you looking at as far as Burton's?
Oh, man, I'm perusing the menu right now. I mean, there's kind of a lot that gets me excited. So, I'm guessing antojitos and botanas. I don't know what that means. I'm guessing it's appetizers because usually appetizers are the first thing on the menu. I'm looking at this totopos, chips and salsa. I guess it's house-made tomato, onion, and cilantro verde, tomatillo, jalapeno, roasted chilies, red peppers, the jalapeno rellenos, stuffed fried jalapeno poppers with cotija cheese, fine cream avocado ranch. And then as I scroll down a little bit and we get into the tacos de calle, the Brooklyn, which is barbecue glazed pork belly, shaved cabbage, pickled pickled vegetables, and then a salsa brave cilantro or salsa brave. I don't know what that is, but that Sounds fire. The California fish tacos, 3 battered and fried mahi mahi tacos, shaved cabbage, chipotle aioli, pico de gallo, radish, cilantro.
Mm.
Ooh, I don't know. There's a lot going
There's
on here.
the Durango
I'm
combo,
looking at
which
that right now.
barbecue pork tostada, marinated grilled steak taco, quesadilla with queso, guacamole, pico, sour cream. It's a dangerous menu, folks. It's a dangerous menu.
They've got a
Uh,
taco burger, crispy tortillas, guacamole, house salsa, Chihuahua cheese. I've never heard of. Is it Chihuahua? I don't know how to. It looks like it's Chihuahua cheese. Te quiero Taco Bell. Sour cream, lettuce, and fries. That sounds great. Just so much going on here.
What do you think avocado fries are? Do we really think it's fries with avocados on it?
I don't
Or do we
know.
think the
Is it deep
avocados
fried
are
avocado? Because I'm
maybe?
about that.
Yeah, and it's a side there.
I'm looking at the beefsteak cone avocado fries. It's marinated grilled steak, chimichurri, avocado fries, cotija cheese, chipotle aioli.
They got plantains, which I shouldn't be shocked at,
What?
but they got plantains at the
Oh,
pollo al carbon, 2 grilled boneless chicken breasts, yellow rice, black beans, plantains. I don't even know how to pronounce the rest of that stuff.
escabeche
Yeah,
onions.
and chimichurri. Just good night. That's great. So there you go, guys. For those of you that wanted it, you got it. I'm glad that we were able to establish Burton's is
Dude,
like
I don't know that I'm
Hispanic
done
food.
here. It's a
You,
molcajetes. It's shrimp, scallops, fish, charred tomatoes, roasted corn, coconut milk.
the last time we did this, Jonathan, we had Ben. I think it was Ben Gifford from the show, our who helps with our events and all of that. I think it was him that he texted in our group chat and was like, "You guys legitimately spent like 9 minutes just talking about the menu for I think it was our
Yeah,
last watch party." And we're like, "Yeah, we did. We
it's a
absolutely
bit of a
did." And Ben, you
problem.
should know better. So, cheers to you, Ben. And here's another little menu segment for you.
Let's get into the state of the Magic, Luke. So the Magic did not play this week. They are still before the post All Star break has begun. They're sitting at 24-35 on the season. They have the 5th worst record in the league. They are 13th in the Eastern Conference. Currently 4 games back of Toronto for the final play-in spot. They have an offensive rating on the season of 111.3, which ranks 25th in the league. They have a defensive rating of 113.9, which ranks 19th in the league. Overall net rating is negative 2.6, which is good for 25th in the league. Some Magic news, Luke. I'm going to start with the smaller news first because I think we're going to talk more about the second piece here. Admiral Schofield had his 2-way contract converted to a standard NBA contract through the 2023-2024 season. So it's the rest of this year. I believe next year is not guaranteed. So if the Magic want
Correct.
to basically waive Admiral after this season, they can do that. But super excited for Admiral. Dude definitely deserves it.
Yeah, I mean it's good to have him, right? Like we talked about it even going back to summer league, where you could see him giving fiery speeches to the team and just really understands. He's been around the organization. Super happy for him. This is like genuinely, this becomes the life changing stuff that happens for these guys that you get to see. And if you pay attention to like just like pay difference for Admiral, he'll be, I believe, on the veterans minimum contract, but regardless, still more than what he was getting as a 2-way. This is what these guys dream about, and so I'm just super happy for him as a person. I think that he's a great guy to have in the locker room, and small price to pay. This team's not giving him much, and you have to fill roster spots. And I'm glad that they've chosen to do a favor for Admiral and a favor for the locker room.
Super happy for Admiral. And there's another person, because he's no longer a Magic player, that we're also super happy for, even though we're kind of sad for us. The Magic this week officially waived RJ Hampton. And when he clears waivers tomorrow, he's going to be signing with Detroit. So by all accounts, he won't be cleared to play. Did I say Toronto I'm thinking Toronto in my brain for some reason, but it's Detroit. It's the Detroit Pistons. We play them tomorrow. He won't be able to play against the Magic. Luckily, no RJ Hampton revenge game, but just super happy for RJ Hampton. I'm not really understanding the like hate or like some of the negativity that we're seeing around like RJ. Like we tweeted out like, hey, like we were wishing this kid the best of luck. We know you're going to do great in your next opportunity. And some people are like, no, he's not good. Like people are forgetting like the first, like, I don't know, 10, 15 games of the season where RJ Hampton was like legitimately our best guard.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was playing better than Cole Anthony. Jalen Suggs was in and out of the lineup. Like RJ Hampton to start the year was like really playing really, really well. Was night and day from what we saw in Summer League this year, where we were like, cut this guy, get him off the roster. He's getting worse somehow. But to start the year, like before Markelle came back, before Jalen and Cole got healthy, like RJ was legitimately the best guard on the roster. And there's just no way to stay in a rhythm and play to any kind of standard consistently when you are in and out of the lineup the way that he was. Even when basically everyone was out of the lineup, this kid was still barely getting minutes. And I don't know about you, Luke, but I don't get that. Like, it's a small camp of Magic fans that are saying stuff like this, but I don't really get that.
Yeah, I don't get it either. It's weird, like you said, he was arguably the best guard there while you at the beginning of the season. It's it really just it sucks to see that people are just like all of a sudden just trying, just because he's gone, like now are just talking crazy about RJ Hampton. He deserved better with this organization, but it just got to a point where like you had to make a decision on guards. So it really stinks. It's the business of it all. And I know that's something we've been saying a lot of, but it is like you get attached to these guys and then all of a sudden they're out the door. So, but I'm, like you said, very happy for him and to see what happens when he goes to Detroit. And I think he can earn some minutes here as he's going to be a free agent this coming off season. So we'll see what he can do.
From everything that we've heard, it was like very much that the Magic decided to continue to invest in the other younger guards. Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony. Obviously, you have Markelle Fultz. You have Gary Harris. We didn't see Terrence Ross in the lineup. And for anybody who's wondering, like, why wasn't he in the lineup even though he was playing well? It just came down to the fact that the Magic were not going to continue to invest playing time into RJ Hampton. You saw them assign him multiple times to the Lakeland Magic just so that he could continue to play, like to do as right by RJ as they possibly could. Getting him playing time in Lakeland, the kid just desperately wanted to play. I saw him once at when I went down to Lakeland to watch Jonathan Isaac's return. I said, "Hey RJ, what's going on? How are you?" And he's like, "I'm free. Like I'm getting to play." Like that's all the kid wanted. He wanted to play basketball, and there's a road to him getting minutes in Detroit. Like they've got young guards there. Cade is obviously out for the season. I know they have Killian Hayes. RJ Hampton is going to be competing, with Killian Hayes. I think 4 minutes. They're going to want to get a look at him. They're going to be signing him the last 23 games of the season. You want to get a look at RJ Hampton, and I know you and I both believe that given time and given the right opportunity and situation, RJ Hampton is a legitimate rotation player in the NBA. So it sucks that it didn't work out here. It's when we talk about RJ is gone. Now some of the other guys are gone. Like kind of a swing and a miss, I guess, in some respect by the front office. Like you traded Aaron Gordon for Gary Harris, RJ Hampton, and what is it, like a 2025 first round pick from Denver, if I'm not mistaken. And what do you have to show for it right now? I mean, that Denver pick probably won't be that great. You have Gary Harris, who you may or may not keep after this year, and the reports around the time that the trade happened was like RJ Hampton needed to be included in that deal. I believe it was Jeff Weltman who made it clear that RJ Hampton was not like a throw-in for us. Like Denver was kind of reluctant to give him up, and he was someone that they that was sought after by the Magic in that deal, and now he's gone for absolutely nothing. The Magic don't get anything in return, so kind of a swing and a miss on the front office's half, but I'm just happy that RJ is going to get an opportunity somewhere else because he's a good kid and he deserves it. All right, want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to the folks that help financially support the Six Man Show. and help us do all the things that we do. If you listen to our last episode, we just did an awesome giveaway exclusively for our patrons. We hit 100 patrons. So a big shout out to everyone that has supported along the way. And if you want to join the Patreon community and get some of our benefits that we offer, you can find us at patreon.com/The Six Man Show. Part of our benefits for our Hall of Fame tier and elite tier patrons is we shout them out on every episode, which we'll start by shouting out the Court Cousins, who are going to be in town this week for the Pistons game and for the Pacers game. So make sure that you guys seek those guys out and say what's up and thank them for all of the content that they put out. But shout out to Court Cousins, Armin, Carson Tulo, Jonathan Borges, Normal, Magic Player History, Julio, Gabe Gaines, Michael Martin, Jamel Miller, Michael Salapon, The Distract, Donkey Punch Dave, It's Not OKK to Say Okiki, Pierre A., Migzors, Nostalgia and M&M's, Dylan Holden, Mr. Mikey, Lil Penny, Eduardo Sanchez, Drum, Danimal, Dutto 15, Bobby Skinner, Goody 93, Teddy Sylvia, Eric Lopez, Fuchsia, Juan Geraldo, Bill Fulton, Edmund Lagone, Hosea Squealin, Destined for Greatness, Caleb Pete, Cannibalism, Ty Mr. TV, Joe Rothfuss, ESPN Really Sucks, Gear 95 Shred, Junior Bruce, Half Rican, Shahin 177, Bolby the Don, Himlo Ban Himro, RM Prov 221, Ray Pastrana, Magic Kid 714, Let's Bank Don't Tank, Soft Taco, Jesse, Barry M, Johnny B, Fuego Nando, Phantom Wolf 72, Irish Magic Mike, Austin Lampy, Random Hustle, and Bol. His first name is his last name. Big shout out to all of our patrons. You can find us at patreon.com/The Six Man Show. Luke, let's get into our conversation with Scooter Magruder. And we are back with the man, the myth, the legend, fresh off his first All-Star appearance, Scooter Magruder. What's going on, man? How was Salt Lake?
Listen, I am glad to be back in the humidity with fellow Magic fans. I don't know if you guys know this, but they were dogging the Magic all-All-Star. Like, I was on an island by myself defending, saying the dynasty starts soon. I'm glad to be home. Let's just put it like that.
I saw you wearing the Duvin merch from that collab, that drop. What was that like? Is that the reason that a lot of people were talking to you? They saw the Magic stuff, or they asked about it, and that's how that conversation started?
No, actually. So I had gotten that stuff. One of my friends is actually, I don't know what he is in the company, but we went to high school and I don't know if he started it or what he is, but I just know he's in the company. So I'm like, you know what? I didn't do an Instagram post for you guys. Let me get you guys some type of stuff. So I was like, I'm going to wear this to the stadium, to All-Star. It was all pre-planned, right? Let me see what I can do. Every now and again, you have to do something outrageous as an influencer, just to make sure you keep it spicy, keep it fresh. This was that. It was 30 degrees. I said, I don't care. I'm wearing the Duvin fit for the gram. There we go.
Scooter, what all were you doing at All-Star? We talked a little bit about before we started recording. You're like, I was here, I was there. What all were you doing at Salt Lake?
Bruh. Okay, so let's back up. I actually went to All-Star with the NBA. So the NBA actually flew me out. And the reason they did that is because they had another NBA house on site. So if you recall, I was actually one of the influencers, a part of the first ever NBA house. And this was its own thing. A lot of different creators went over there and we made content together. So they did a all-star version of that. So they had a little house where different influencers were coming. They had some basketball players come through just to hype up the whole all-star game. So that's what I was there for. We actually got to go through all the drills for the rising star. We went through all the drills. I got bodied on the 3-pointer. I actually have that footage too. So it's just, I'm wondering if I should put it out and expose myself or I'm not sure, but it was a very hype event. We went through all of that. We did even the dunk contest. I think our dunk contest was better than the actual dunk contest because they had the influencer doing the dunk contest. So we were just there getting some content, hyping up the All-Star event, though.
Yeah, you said that now what do you mean? It was better than the dunk on, like, did they have professional dunkers or
So they
what?
had influencers. So they brought out some Everybody Hates Chris, right? One of the best dunkers in the world. He was doing some of the dunks. And there were actually talks about having influencers in the dunk contest, but I guess some NBA players were getting upset or so. I don't know. I really don't know the specifics, but I do know that there should be something with these influencers, because these influencers, this is what they do, right? Basketball players, they play basketball. These dunkers, they train in this. They have some of the best dunks I've ever seen in my life. Even Mac McClung, you go look at his dunk packages that he's been doing. These are some elite dunks. So, yeah, our dunk contest was better. I'm just saying. These guys were doing some wild stuff.
So All-Star break aside, Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, those guys got a few days off. The rest of the boys got a nice, 8-9 day break, and now they're back at it on Thursday playing against the Detroit Pistons, playing against soon-to-be RJ Hampton's Detroit Pistons, although I don't think he's going to be ready to make his debut Thursday against the Magic. Luckily, we don't need an RJ Hampton revenge game. But Scooter, just kind of walk me through what your emotions have been like so far through the first, what are we, almost to 60 games now?
Okay, yeah. So real quick, though, before we get into that, I did meet Paolo at All-Star. So there was a Jordan event. Paolo is signed to Jordan, and he was chopping it up. I was like, yo, Paolo, you good? What's good? Listen, Dynasty, 3 years. I'm for real. Stop playing. See me? Because I see you. All right. Also, I might interview you in a couple weeks. Let me know. Okay. But yeah, so I met Paolo. But let's go back to the Magic. All right. What are my thoughts on the Magic? First of all, I'm sad we traded Mo for a second-round pick. Wow. I'm friends with Mo. I know Mo's manager. So I was just like, bruh, second-round pick. This is what we're doing. But I understand, right? They're trying to save some money, trying to save the salary. I think he was hitting for $14 million or something next year. Okay, I get that. RJ, we just released RJ? It's like, bro, we couldn't. Okay. And then Terrence Ross? It's just like, what are we doing? No one wanted Terrence Ross, bro. But at the end of the day, I understand we're doing these players a favor, right? These guys have been loyal Magic fans. So let them go where they want to go. It just so happens RJ goes to Detroit, another young team. Personally, I feel like we have an abundance of guards. So we had to do something, right? RJ was not getting that much playing time as it stands. To me, this is a favor for RJ. I hope he thrives in Detroit, except when we're playing him. As a whole, though, okay, and this is where we might diverge. Okay, I've been chopping it up with my cameraman as well. And I need to get your guys' opinions.
Our boy Jonathan
as well. Yes, Jonathan, Maurice Salmons. Shout out to Jonathan Salmons. But here's where we are. Okay, we're very close to the play-in game, right? We could easily make the playoffs. We could easily. This is within reach. But then you look on the other side, and it's like top 3 pick is also within reach. And this is one of the most stacked drafts. I've been doing my due diligence. We get Victor Wembanyama, it's a wrap. All right. That accelerates the timeline 2-3 years. Okay. Even Scoot Henderson, it's a wrap. I saw Scoot Henderson. They were playing in the Rising Stars game. I saw Scoot Henderson. This man is explosive. Okay. So that is basically what I feel like Magic fans are deciding right now. It's like, do we make the play-in? Maybe we get bounced round 1. Of course, we're going to win game 1, as we always do, but maybe we get bounced. Is it worth it to make the play-in game, lower our chances of getting potentially one of the two generational talents is what they're calling them. So I don't know. I like how the players are meshing. I like what Paolo's doing. I like what Franz is doing. They're lighting it up. And that is really our future right there. Paolo and Franz. It's those two. Fultz is a beast coming into his own. Okay. Wendell is doing Wendell things. Do not let Jonathan Isaac come back to full strength because this man is KD light. I'm trying to tell you guys. People forget about Jonathan Isaac. Pre-injury, Kevin Durant comparisons. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Now, he has been injured for a couple years. He needs some time to get back. But do not sleep on Jonathan Isaac. All right. We have the pieces. We don't even need an all-star. We are homegrown. And out of all the young teams in the league, all right, you look at Detroit, you look at Houston, you look at OKC. We have the best pieces, okay? We don't know about Chet in OKC. They have Shea, and Shea's killing it. Okay. But we have Paulo. We have Franz. Don't even let Bobo come into the question because this man, all right, he's going to figure it out. And when he does, it's a wrap. I've been talking too much. What is the next question?
Listen, Scooter.
Scooter's preaching right now.
He is. But you're listing a lot of great things. Like a lot of things to me, I just want to make the play in. I want to make the play in. I want to see what this team can do.
Here's my question. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather make the play in or have higher odds of getting Victor Wembanyama?
That's the thing, right? Like that, obviously that is the question in question here, right? But the thing with this is that you've only got so much room on this roster. We've already had to ship guys off like RJ Hampton, get them out of here because there's just no minutes. Like you said, guard heavy, whatever. I just think this team is roster heavy. This team is deep. And so I think that eventually I just don't want to know what you do and who you cut ties with. If you are bringing in 2 top 10 picks this offseason, do you put all your eggs in the basket, developing them no matter what and cutting ties with who knows, right? Are you cutting ties with Cole Anthony? Or are you cutting ties with Jalen Suggs? Or it just, you become this juggling act. Like, I think you already have so many young assets. I honestly wouldn't mind this in this upcoming draft trading both of your top 10 picks for an established shooter, a star. I think that you could do it.
Did you just say trade our pick? This is Victor Wembanyama. Okay, I don't know if you've seen these highlights.
If it is Victor, it is different. But okay. I will say you still have to navigate. Like, who are we keeping around and who are we developing? You're still bringing more in. And see
what San Antonio has done to get in position for Victor? They see what I see. They said, look, we don't care who we have to move. We are going to try and get Victor. So if I'm seeing other organizations selling out, really selling out, you look at what, bro, if they're selling out, they must know something. There's something they know. And so I'm just looking at this and I'm like, play in or the thing is, it's not even Victor. Okay. It's not even just Victor. It's Scoot Henderson. It's not even Scoot. Both of those twins are elite. I don't know if you've been following the OTE league at all, but those twins are a problem. So it's like, if we can land one of those twins, who knows what can happen. But I do hear what you're saying. We do have a deep roster. What do we do if we get Scoot Henderson? Then we're right back where we are when we had RJ, right?
Mm-hmm.
An abundance of guards. Yeah.
It's and last point, and then Jonathan, I know that you have probably your answer as well. I don't know. I don't know what this looks like. I don't know that's the thing. Like, this team is just, there's so much you could do. Why not push for the play in as hard as you can? And if you happen to get the 5th pick, you get the 5th pick. Like, there's a 10% chance right now the Magic get the number 1 pick with the odds they have, like 5th worst record in the league. And 14% for 1. That's not a big percentage difference. I just think that you can afford to do that push because the percentages aren't that crazy. And we know, we're very familiar with the lottery. you could tank as hard as you want, but you might still get the 5th pick.
Mario Hezonja.
You can tank as hard as you want, and you get Paolo Banchero, right? You get Victor Wembanyama. It's a lottery, and you got to play. And I think that, it's just worth it if you are able to give this team a taste of postseason experience, because they're already hungry. And then once they experience it, they're going to be so much more hungry at that point. I think you really can't go wrong, but it would hurt to fully tank and then end up with the 5th or 6th pick.
Who would you trade? You mentioned earlier you would trade both the picks for a superstar. Who would you trade both picks for right now if you could?
I don't know. I don't know what the market's like. It's tough because you don't know if we're talking. Am I talking a top 3 pick? Am I talking a 5? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's out there.
We get the number 2 pick and the number 10 pick. What are we doing?
Well, then you're taking Scoot. Like, you can't trade 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 3 and 10. We have the number 3 and the number 10 pick. What are we doing?
Scooter, I know you want an answer. I just don't know if I can give it to you, man. I don't know if I can give, because like you said, the Thompson twins, like, you have so much out there that is on the table. I wonder if they look around, you get the 3rd pick, then you trade your 10th or 9th, whatever that Bulls pick can phase to. We'll see what they can do now that they've, got another addition to the roster that's going to hope to move the needle for them, but in Pat Bev. But I don't know, man. Jonathan, what do you think in regard to all of this?
Well, so I don't want to steal other people's ideas, but I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast a couple of days ago, and I think he was talking to Russillo, and they were talking about how with the salary cap and the new collective bargaining agreement, set to take place, in a couple of seasons, that Jaylen Brown's extension is going to fall like just short of that. So he would basically be taking something like a 20-25% discount if he signs that extension rather than waiting to hit free agency. And if Boston becomes nervous that they're going to lose Jaylen Brown, then maybe they start taking offers on Jaylen Brown. Now, is Boston the team that's going to trade Jaylen Brown away for 2 lottery picks and a young player? I don't know. Maybe they take those picks and those young players and they try to trade for somebody else to bring in and help Tatum. But 3 and 10 for Jaylen Brown, I would take a long, long look at that. I don't know about you, Scooter.
I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed
Scooter.
to that.
Scooter,
we're getting somewhere here.
But okay, this is why I really like the Scoot Henderson, the Victor Wembanyama. Even if we get one of the twins, why I like it, because the difference is if we draft a player, right? We have all the money now to re-sign this homegrown roster, as opposed to if we trade the picks, now we got to pay Jaylen Brown. We have to pay him all of that money now. So that's the only payoff. It's like if we somehow are able to land Victor or Scoot, we literally have our home. We don't need Jaylen Brown. We have our own homegrown. We are the new Warriors. We are the Warriors of the East. And all of a sudden, everyone's always been a Magic fan their whole life. I can't wait for that. Because I would say I have receipts. I have all of the receipts.
Plenty of them. I think I would say if you could guarantee that I'm getting Victor or Scoot, it's not a question. Like 23 games left, I can deal with, another month and a half of pain for one of those guys. Absolutely. Now, if you tell me that the Magic get really close to the play-in after starting 5-20, then I feel like we've been talking about dynasty, right? You told Paolo 3 years away. You turn the season around like that, I feel that much more confident in this core moving forward. But we've also been talking about on the pod where you can kind of have your cake and eat it too. Right now, the Magic have the 5th worst record in the league. Right now, if the lottery was today, they would have a 10.5% chance of securing the number 1 overall pick. Even if you jump Indiana, and you finish 12 in the Eastern Conference, you have a 9.5% chance. So you're only losing 1% if you get a little bit closer to the play-in. And I think just in terms of meaningful games, getting this young team that experience, I think that can go a long way too. But for us, it's kind of like the duality of the end of the season here, because It's really great if you almost make the play-in or make the play-in, but even if you don't, and Luke and I talked about this on the last episode, the Magic have 23 games left. They probably need to go like 14-9 or 15-8 over these last 23 games to have a real chance at making the play-in. Magic have been playing close to 500 basketball for the last couple of months. They would need a pretty large improvement to have that kind of record over the last few weeks of the season here. I think it's a win-win. You either get that experience for your young guys, or you're getting two more chances at the top 3 pick.
I hear you. I definitely hear you. But you guys are going to have to refresh my memory, okay? Because I have some PTSD as it comes to winning games late in the season. Because what year was it? Everyone was like, no, let's win the last game for pride.
It was the Luka year.
Literally nothing on the They're like, oh, we just need to win for pride. And it was like split. 50% of the Magic fans were like, let's win for pride. And I'm over here like, no, let's get a better draft pick. We can get Luka. What the heck is going on? And we won. And our odds dropped. And so I'm like, bruh, what the heck? So I just don't want it to be a similar situation where it's like, okay, yeah, 1% difference. All of a sudden, now we got the 5th pick. And I'm like, bruh, here we go.
Yeah.
We could have had Scoot. We could have had Victor. Okay. So that's the only thing. Because
it's fair.
I remember.
Right. But I hear what you're saying, right? Like that would just be unfortunate. But at the same time, and it's unfortunate that happened, but at the same time, you would not only at this point, then if you're starting to look at that conversation, you have to stop looking at how far you are from the play-in, and you have to start looking at how far are we from getting better odds. This team's far from getting better odds, right? Like you're 7.5 games ahead of Charlotte. You're 9 games ahead of Detroit. You're 10 games ahead of San Antonio, and Houston is in another universe.
San Antonio's going for it, man. San Antonio's going for something.
That's the thing, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like you have only 23 games left. These teams are going to continue to do what they're doing, continue their dissension. I just don't think you catch them. So at this point, it's kind of like, let's just go for the plan. Like we're here.
Fair.
Like I don't want to just plummet to the earth and for nothing. Like we don't move anywhere. This team starts to get tired of losing these last 23 games even more. They had momentum. I just want momentum going into the next season. I need it.
If we lose like 23 games straight, I'm starting to feel a little bit different about Paolo and Franz. I don't know about you guys. I can't watch these guys lose 23 straight. That would be a travesty.
Man, I think Paulo, when we selected Paulo Banchero and it was that smoke screen and no one had any idea, including Paulo, I think that was we're going to look back on that and say that was one of the best moments in Magic history, honestly, because in my opinion, it's Paulo's rookie of the year to lose. It's not even close. If you look at what he's done in comparison to Jabari Smith Jr., it's just night and day. It's night and day. And so I definitely have to tip my hat to the management for that because I didn't even know. I thought we were going Jabari Smith all day. Jabari Smith Jr. I thought that was our guy. And then come to find out, they knew something I did not. And man, what a get. What a get.
Scooter, last thing I want to ask you here. You've done a couple of social media spots recently. One of them was the NBA house, showing off the handles a little bit. They're looking pretty nice, Kyrie-esque, if I may. How long have you been working on the handles? Is this something like recently, or your bag always been this deep?
See, that's the thing. All right, you have these content creators, and as content, what they do is they just play 1v1 or like 3v3, 5v5, right? That's their content. That's what they do. I do that for fun, okay? So if I were to start making content where I'm bodying and crossing over people, it might get to the point where this is not really fun anymore, right? So that's my like safe haven, okay? I'm a hooper. you can and will get these buckets, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to just start all of a sudden 1v1ing every YouTuber ever in existence. But hey, if there's a basketball and there's a hoop and you want to go one out, we can do it, right? So that's
Did
where
any of
I'm
them
at.
want to do it?
What's that?
I know you were asking them to 1v1. Did any of them do it?
Who?
Any of the creators? Did you 1v1?
Oh yeah, so I 1v1 Cash Nasty. Shouts out to Cash, very nice beating him. But most of the other creators, and this is the thing for All Star 2, like All Star is a spectacle. I don't know if you guys saw the ratings for All Star, one of the lowest ranked All Stars ever, right? Which is why they're bringing in people like me to hype things up. But the problem is with All Star is that it's a spectacle, meaning like you got these guys there, they're tired. Like they are literally getting shuffled from event to event to event. And that's not even saying if they want to stay out late, right? And they want to vibe with everyone. It's just so much. Where before you just have these guys come in and then they play, right? Now it's such a spectacle to where it makes sense to come Sunday night. These people don't want to go hard. They're tired. I was tired and I wasn't even playing basketball. I'm just doing the skills challenges and some little things like that. So I understand I think they will figure it out, like how to best manage things and how to get this game more competitive, do things of that nature. But it's just so much. And I understand completely why that game was played like that, because All-Star Weekend is wild. You are running. There's an event happening every other hour. People, like I met so many people. I literally met so many people this weekend. It was probably the best week ever for networking for me, ever. That includes going to VidCon, Playlist Live, all these places with all these other creators. All-Star is where you want to be because you can meet and network with so many people. And I thank God for letting me have this opportunity, and shout out to the NBA for bringing me, because I'm going to do so many things because of this opportunity.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing it, Scooter. What do you have coming up next? And let our listeners know where they can find you.
Absolutely. So you can find all the stuff that I'm posting at Scooter Magruder. That's just Scooter and then Magruder. There is no C in Magruder. That's on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm trying to edit this All-Star vlog. I just have so much content, so you'll get a better idea of exactly how wild All-Star Weekend is and like what everything is going on. But after that, be on the lookout for a resurgence in the Scooter Gaming channel. Stop playing at Scooter Gaming everywhere. And also we'll have some NBA playoffs coming down the line, as well as just some offseason NFL content. The Dallas Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl. Eagles sit down. Exactly.
He's a grown man. Scooter Magruder, thank you for joining the show, man.
Appreciate you guys for having me. Dynasty starts in 3 years. I'm so serious.
Let's go. Awesome conversation with our buddy Scooter. Scooter, thanks again for coming on the show, man. And just thanks for all that you do for the Orlando Magic community and the Orlando Magic fans, like really putting on for Magic fans, Luke. Always a good time talking with our good buddy Scooter.
Yeah, man. It's like you said, good to have him that, able to represent the organization in this way, and just be a big personality that, helps get us, as the Magic attention. And he's a diehard. He loves this team. He's a huge fan of this team. And I'm glad that, the NBA has recognized that and honors that and, given him more of a platform than he already has by doing things like All-Star Weekend. Just really good to talk with him as always.
A massive dub having Scooter on the show. You know what else is a massive dub? Is every day after massive Orlando Magic dubs, you can get 50% off your online order from Papa John's with code MAGICWIN. After the Magic beat the Detroit Pistons on Thursday, Friday afternoon, you're feeling like some lunch or you don't want to worry about what you're doing Friday night for dinner, use that 50% off Papa John's Magic Win code. Get 50% off. I'm hoping that I didn't jinx that game now that we've kind of put that out there, Luke. It's been a while since we've done voicemails. If you didn't know, you can call and leave us a voicemail. We get it. We see it. Liable to put it on the show. 407-603-1189 is the number. First, Luke, we've got a voicemail from our boy Jay.
Hey, Jonathan. Hey, Luke. My name is Jay, and I just wanted to leave you guys a brief voicemail, let you know how much of a fan I am. I'm really impressed with your guys' show, and I watch regularly. Just wanted to give you guys an attaboy. See ya.
An attaboy. I'm never mad at an attaboy.
I love a good attaboy.
Attaboy.
Just truly love a good attaboy. I appreciate you, Jay.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate you tuning in. And if you ever have a question you want to call back in, let us know. And the next question here comes from our buddy Carson. I think this is our patron, Carson Tulo, if I'm not mistaken.
What's up, guys? It's Carson from Huntsville, Alabama. I'm calling because on Twitter, I don't understand why so many Magic fans wanted to keep Patrick Beverley. I understand that he can really solidify a team for a playoff push, but what more could he offer this team than that? I don't know what minutes he would take up or what he would offer this team long term, but I'm glad we bought him out. If you're upset about it, you can hate me for it, but I don't really care. But go Magic, and hopefully we can make this play-in run.
Carson with the hot take. He said, "I don't care if you hate me for it." Luke, what do you think about the Pat Bev thing now that he's been waived?
Now, is it unfortunate Pat Beverly ended in Chicago, who call Pat Bev what you want. You can troll him, whatever. He's going to help this team, especially Lonzo Ball now out officially for the remainder of the year. I believe that's what the reports were, that they're basically sidelining him the rest of the year. So he's going to help. He's going to help that team. And is he going to help them make the play-in? I don't know, but he very well could. So that's going to kind of hurt, right? Like you cut ties with the guy that is going to help basically your competitor in the East make the play-in maybe and lessen your chances of that happening. It's possible. But at the same time, he's a free agent this offseason. So I don't know. Like, it's not like he was going to be a long-term thing. I just don't know. Like, this team's guard heavy, and that's something that we talked about with Scooter. You just would hate to stunt the development, these last 23 games, any good opportunity down the stretch to win big games and be in contention for the play-in and eliminate one of these guards from being able to do that to bring in Pat Bev. So it's unfortunate for the Magic, but I don't fault this front office at all for not bringing him in and keeping him. It was purely, cap space move to get rid of Mo Bamba. The Lakers wanted to, dish out Pat Bev in the process, and now Pat Bev gets a chance to try to make the playoffs. I did think he'd go to more of a contender. He said on his podcast that it was either Warriors or Bulls for him, and he chose the Bulls because he was going to get more minutes and could help them make the playoffs. So Pat Bev's trying to get those minutes in these final 23 games. And hope that he can, in turn swing it for a good contract. We'll see what he's able to do. But yeah, I agree with Carson. I don't see any point that the Magic would have had to keep him.
I feel like there's become like this, like he's been like become like this mythological figure, Patrick Beverley, after like the Minnesota thing. Like after like joining Minnesota, or was he traded to Minnesota and then they made the playoffs? Like, all of a sudden, people have it in their mind that like adding Patrick Beverley to your team is just like going to make your team so much better, and he's going to take these like bad teams to the playoffs, like just being on the team. Like in Minnesota last year, 9.2 points per game, shot 40% from the floor, shot 34% from the 3-point line. Like, yes, the value that Pat Beverley brings you is like the edge. It's like the defensive capabilities. And like this, I guess, like this locker room presence that like he never was this before. Like the 1 year in Minnesota didn't really help the Lakers this year. Is a career 8.7 points per game scorer. career 41% from the floor, like a good, I guess, decent 3-point shooter, 37%, for his career. Like, yes, the Magic needs shooting, but like, who are you bumping out of the rotation in terms of our guards? Markelle Fultz, no. Gary Harris, no. Cole Anthony, no. Jalen Suggs, no.
Right.
Like, I feel like
Let's
push comes to shove, if one of our guards go down, like Kevon Harris gives you like 80% of what Patrick Beverley does for a tenth of the price, and you've already got him on the roster. As soon as we traded for Pat Bev, in my mind, I'm like, all right, he's getting waived.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that was a thought, and I will say, like, I do think he will help the Bulls. And like you said, I think it is maybe the locker room presence, his ability to make the right play, as well, just being a veteran, making the right play. If you look at it, this year, less than a turnover a game, a few assists. Like, he's not going to sell the game for you. Now, and I just feel like a lot of fans of teams love him. Like, when they have him, at least as of late, like you said, that Minnesota run where they make they win the play-in or whatever, and he's jumping on stuff and going crazy and celebrating like they won the finals. He just, like you said, he brings that edge. But I think that he'll do good for the Bulls in these final 20 whatever games they have left. But all in all, this is a move for him to improve his contract in the upcoming year. And you're not sacrificing the minutes of those young guys and the value of these games down the stretch for Patrick Beverley to essentially just be gone soon.
Yeah, I know Alex Caruso, he's been missing time. Goran Dragic, he's day-to-day right now on their roster. So, like, they definitely need another guard. We talked about, Russell Westbrook potentially going to the Bulls, and could argue what kind of impact Russ would have had. But I think it's like addition by subtraction. Like, even though you're bringing in another guy, like less of Kobe White, I think a lot of Bulls fans would probably agree is a good thing. So Pat Bev kind of eating up some of those backup guard minutes is going to help them, but they're like really in a different situation. And like the way that Jalen's been playing lately, the way that Cole Anthony has been playing lately, I'm not giving Pat Bev minutes over those guys, and he's not nearly as good as Gary Harris or Markelle Fultz. So it's just like it's a like non-conversation for me.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Carson, for calling in, and thanks, Jay, for calling in. Again, if you guys want to call and leave a voicemail to get your question answered on the show, you can call us at 407-603-1189. But Luke, couple of games this week. I know we've talked about these games kind of ad nauseum because it's been so long since we've had games. But Thursday, you're home for Detroit. Saturday, you're home for Indiana. Has your mind changed about either of those games?
No, you got to win. You got to win. Am I nervous about coming off a break and how this team has been coming off a break so far this year? Yes, I am nervous. I don't know. It feels too good to be true. Being favored 6.5 points, regardless of who the team is. As a Magic fan, if you have paid any attention to betting lines the last 2 years, this is crazy. So to see that, like, we're getting the respect.
The last 10 years, I mean, good grief.
Well, I knew. I just knew if I said that people would be like, yeah, what about the playoff years? But yeah, so, you need to win this game. And it was good to hear Mosley after their practice yesterday, just very much just talk about how good the practice went. Good to get the guys back, getting them acclimated. I'm hoping that the whole good practice thing plays into a good game thing. And you got Goga in his first game for the Magic. We'll see if he gets minutes. What does that look like? Mosley talked about it. He's big on decision makers, good decision makers. It's a huge buzzword thing that he's been saying all season, starting in training camp. And he talked about Goga having good vision for his size, knowing the right play. Goga, by the way, I texted you guys this late last night, I think. Goga looks 35. The guy just looks like he's just been around for a while. And what did he say? Like 23, 24, something like that. So I'm interested to see that. That's a storyline that you get to see tomorrow play out. Where is he going to fit in? He's 23. So I don't know. I don't know what is to come for Goga, but the Magic gave him a little bit of a contract and brought him on. Saw that. We'll see if they can give him a chance. They said that Rick Carlisle said he's a great player in terms of just for what he is. Like, he's a good player. He's able to make the right reads, bring energy, anything you want him to do. He'll kind of stay in his lane and do his thing and, help the team win. So I'm interested to see.
So as we're recording this, just about 20 minutes ago, Orlando Magic PR tweeted out that the Magic have assigned Caleb Houston to the Lakeland Magic. I don't love that. I know there's not a ton of minutes available for Caleb, but in the instance that somebody goes down, or like we know Jonathan Isaac is only going to play 14, 15 minutes in this game probably, I'd just rather see Caleb Houston than Chuma Okeke right now, if I'm being very honest.
Well,
and it felt like he was like starting to get a rhythm and gain confidence.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I mean, we'll see, right? Like, if it's a mistake, it's a mistake. They'll recall him. They sent him down once already in January. So,
I get that, but it's like fresh off the All-Star break, get this kid some minutes the last 23 games.
What if Jonathan Isaac comes out and he plays like 15 plus minutes?
If he plays 17 minutes, it'll be acceptable. Anything less, I won't be happy.
You won't be happy?
We got to get this kid to 20 minutes before the end of the year. 20 minutes a game before the end of the year.
Yeah, to give you guys an idea, though.
Like the last 10 games, he needs to be playing like 20 minutes a game.
Caleb Houston, his last 10 games, 2.3 threes a game, 47.8%.
Pretty good, I think.
Guy can just catch and shoot that thing.
Stroke that thing, Caleb.
Right. Stroke that thing, Cuzzo. Yeah, maybe you're right about the whole Caleb Houston down to Lakeland thing being a little concerning. But also, like I said, just as easy as they go down, they can come up.
True.
And we'll, I'm interested to see how that plays out. See, there's a lot of storylines to look at for tomorrow. So, I don't know.
All right, let's end it. For Luke Sylvia, this has been Jonathan Osborne. You guys have been listening to The Sixth Man Show, and we will catch you guys next time. See you. Thanks for listening to The Sixth Man Show. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and Spotify to get new episodes downloaded directly to your phone. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute to give us a 5-star rating and a review. It helps out the show a lot. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sixth Man Show. We'll catch you guys next time. Go Magic!